Hey friends. Okay, so I've had a lot of conversation with many of you about 15-minute messenger pop-up parties, and I wanted to take a few minutes just to share some tips and things and thoughts around them. So first of all, I think that they are a great way to launch a Mary Kay business. I think they're a great way to meet some new people. I think they're a great way to get going quickly and to utilize for lots of different reasons. I love them. I want you to think about a couple things. Is first of all, is our businesses are built around relationships and communication. So as you're setting up a 15-minute messenger party, I want you to think about a couple things. Number one is the party part is really not the most important. What you do before and what you do after is actually the most important. And so here's a few tips that I have had and done to make them successful. First thing is, of course, not booking out too far and sending a personal message. I know we send scripts a lot of time, but to encourage you to customize that script. And I mean customize it, not just putting the person's name in it, but to start it off with a conversation like, hey, congratulations, I just saw that you had a new baby, or congratulations, I saw your daughter graduated from high school, or whatever, you were just on a great trip. How was it? Like, start a conversation first. And then as that person communicates with you, invite them to be part of your messenger pop-up party. And so that starts it off so it's more conversational. And they have a tendency to say yes more often. You're going to create the pop-up party. I'm not going to go into the details on creating it or doing the exact party, but I want to give you some tips about it. So the second thing I would say is as you are adding in the people to the group, um, then the next step is to have private conversations. So whether it's in Messenger or texting or even in calling them on the phone, to have the opportunity to find out about them. So what we call that in Mary Kay is pre-profiling. So all the same skills that we learn, whether we're doing an in-person party, an online party, a messenger party, still apply to this format. Okay, so a pre-profile would be questions like, so tell me, have you ever used Mary Kay before? What are you currently using for skincare? Do you have any specific concerns or things that you'd like to get better on your skin? Now, you're not asking all those questions, right? Right off the bat, like a whole litany of lists, so they have to answer all those. But you want to have a conversation. The more conversations you can have, the better the trust is built, the better the relationship is built, and the better you can serve that person. Now, it's really simple when we already know the people, right? But this is even more important when someone else is hosting a messenger party and you're trying to meet her friends. Because not everyone who even gets added to a messenger party is going to respond to you when you friend them and or start to message them privately. And you do want to do that. Do not rely on your hostess to do everything because she's not the Mary Kay consultant. She doesn't know, she doesn't have the confidence, and it's not her paycheck. So having those conversations or attempting to have the conversations and really encouraging you that the goal is to have at least 15 people in the pop-up and probably 4 to 5 will engage with you privately to get to know you and in the party. So there's nothing you're not doing correct, but the first part is to get that many people in because the percentages just work out that way. So it's about a third, right? And having those conversations. So that's the first thing is to build that relationship on the front end, to find out about your customer, potential customer on the front end. For me personally, I have just a spiral notebook that I write down every pop-up, the date, the time, the hostess, and as the people are added, I write their names down and then I go and friend them on Facebook and then I send them a message on Messenger. And and then as they're having conversation with me, I'm writing all the information down because I can't remember it all in my head. So I'm writing down what they're answering me. The second thing is to offer and send them the skin analyzer. Now that's part of the message in the Facebook or the Messenger party, but at the same time, it's okay for you to send that. Hey, I have this really cool, unique gift for you. send it back to me and you'll get 3 more entries into our giveaway. So again, once that's done and they choose to send you the results, open up a new conversation with them again. Wow, what surprised you the most? Have you used any of these products before? This is super helpful. Thank you. It's super helpful for me to guide you, to help serve you and find out what might be the best products for you. So again, you're in the servant positioning and you're building trust and rapport with that guest in the party. Same thing as you would do if you're doing an in-person or a virtual Mary Kay party, like a whole facial thing. Okay, so those are some of my pre-party tips, all right? And continue to just build that relationship. Another tip about that is when they do friend you or you on Facebook, and then go in and make a few comments on their Facebook or go look and see who they are, get to know them a little bit so that, and I write down some things there as well so that I can have a real conversation with people, right? Um, if you're choosing to do your pop-up where you're just getting people in there, you're going to post your My Shop at the end, and you're going to hope and pray that people go on there and order, you can totally do it that way. I would say that the results will be probably most likely be a little less than by you building relationships. And I don't know about you, but I don't want a one-time sale. I want to build a relationship so that customer comes back to me, refers people to me, maybe can be my next hostess and things like that. All right. So once the party takes place, of course, there's all the tips for that on our boards, but the behind after is even as important as before. So, like I said, the actual posts, the actual what happens during that 15 minutes is not the most important. It is important, but it's not the most. It's the pre-party and the post-party. So, what do I do after? Of course, I always in the party say that, the consultant will follow up or I'll be following up with you. And I do. So I pretty much immediately after, I'll send a quick message, however we've been communicating. Thank them so much for participating. I will reach out to the people first who were active in it, those 4 or 5. And then later that day or the next day, I will reach out to the other people because people can go back and scroll through and say, hey, did you get a chance to pop in there? Did you have any questions? Was there anything you might interest you? You can't live without, and to help the hostess get credit, right? So you're combining following up with them for their sake, but also to help the hostess get the credit that we want her to get with orders and with bookings. All right, and that's the same. Again, the pre-profiled and then kind of the individual consultation, it just looks a little differently. I believe that my sales are higher when I have built that relationship on the front end, and then on the back end, I really don't choose to use my shop unless someone asks for my own personal parties because I am willing to take the time. I want to build that relationship. I know that I can help somebody get the products that really will work for them, not just a one-time sale. And my sales will be higher if I can have a conversation after with people. But there's no right or wrong way. So if you want to put your link in and then, follow up with a message and say, hey, thanks for being in the party. Here's my link. The deals are good for 24 hours. Thank you for being part of it. Let me know if I can help. Totally can do that. Like it can be totally automated. See what happens. For me personally, I do like to have that relationship built with them. As many people that will, right? Like the perfect scenario is that everybody will talk to us afterwards. But just following up, ask if they have any questions. What interested them the most? Did they want to take advantage of any deals or specials that we might have offered? How can I best serve them? What's your wish list? Like all those kind of questions. And you guys, again, not all those questions in one text message, right? It kind of depends on the relationship that I built with them. And if I have their skin analyzer, I can go back and say, okay, so now, this, and this might be the best for you to get started with. And if there's other things that you'd like, how about if we go ahead and book your own pop-up messenger party where you can get, whatever the hostess credit is, and with your friends and be able to get some of those products for free, for a discount, whatever the hostess credit that you're using might be. And then, of course, because if she came from a hostess party, she just saw how it happened, so she's more inclined to know what it's all about. So getting those first people are key because then they have the experience and they know what to expect. And of course, I'm also coaching a hostess if it's not my own party that I'm inviting people to also reach out to her friends, right? Because I want to partner with her so that she can get the most free product. She can get all the things on the hostess program available to her. But I'm not relying on her to do it all. I'm coaching her, hoping that she will take my coaching and do it. But you know what? People all don't have the same confidence level that you do to make your business move, work and move forward. So I really at the back end, then there's also times where I've touched base like 2 days later with some people and just, hey, just wanted to make sure we're closing out the party. Was there anything? Most of the time, mine are for 24 hours. That's the deals. But a lot of times I will follow up that third day. And especially if the hostess, we need one or two more orders, that I'm having those conversations privately. So I can't stress enough, if you haven't already caught on, how building relationships on the front end will support you on the back end and to build those relationships. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to purchase, but it does mean that you've built a relationship and you never know what might happen in the future. So I hope that this has been beneficial in how to maximize and some tips for a successful messenger party. Have a great day.